Hi, Abhishek. Thank you so much for being with us here today. So, Abhishek has built his career as a software engineer, and he'll help me understand what has been his career like and what were the decisions that he took while he has been on this journey and he got to where he is today. So, welcome, Abhishek.
Yeah, hi Sonali.
Abhishek, can you tell me a little bit about yourself before I get started with the main questions?
Yeah, so hi everyone. I am Abhishek Ranjan, and I did my Bachelor's of Technology from Nepal Institute of Technology, and I did my BTech in Computer Science and Engineering, and now I'm working as a senior software developer in one of the leading healthcare IT companies. So yeah, so why I chose computer science was like, see, my like if you see my whole family, so they are all bankers, whether it's investment firms or normal banks. So like my generation was the first generation like who started going towards the engineering background. So I like basically saw my elder cousins and all who went to the computer science stream, and I got to know from them like how computers can be useful and what career aspects you can get it from. So yeah, so from like sixth or seventh standard, I was like pretty much clear that okay, I'm not going to do like medicals or commerce. I was always focused on going into the science stream, and that also specifically into the computer science. So when I gave my entrance examinations for undergraduates, so yeah, so in first attempt, I was not able to get into IITs or something, but then I got the branch of my choice in MIT. So I thought instead of dropping a year, it will be fine for me to like go and take up computer science in MIT. So like that's how I chose computer science and went into MIT.
Sure. Abhishek, let's talk about like the 4 years that you spent in engineering, right? You were doing computer science engineering, and then after these 4 years, you have an option to go and pick multiple job opportunities, probably some
True.
that come on campus, that could all opportunities could also be off campus, right?
Yep.
What was your thought process like when you were navigating this journey, and how did you decide that these are the options that make sense for me, and this is what I want to try for?
Yeah. So like what I have observed from my friends, myself, and the people who I have seen coming after me in engineering. So what I observed mostly was like people start thinking about the placements and other things usually towards the end of the third year. So what happens is before that they will focus more on the academics and the other activities in colleges. But when the actual thing starts during the internship phase, like companies start coming for internships during your sixth semester or something. So that's when people start looking for okay what this company is all about, what is the role that you will be having in future if you go into this company and other things. So the competitive nature comes only after the third year mostly. So that's what I have observed. So even the same case was with me. So I had an internship offer after my fourth year along with the on campus offer which I had got. So like that was one thing. Another thing is like I have noticed that people usually when they apply for companies, when they come for campus placements, so what they do is like when the companies come, then while applying they will just go like have a normal walkthrough, like okay what is the company all about. They will just have like they'll go through Wikipedia or something and find it out, okay this company does this. And then most of the times people don't focus on the pre-placement talks that happen. So I feel that that is one of the most important things. So when you are attending a pre-placement talk, that's the best place to understand okay what the company objective is, what the mission and vision of the company is, and whether you want to align yourself with that. So people mostly go with okay I am in computer science for example, so these are the companies that are the core companies of computer science. So I'll focus mostly on these and I'll prepare myself for the job so that I can end up having a job in those companies. So most of the people are not aware of there are certain streams even in computer science like healthcare domain or banking domain. So there are other sectors also, not just the networking and core big four companies which are there. So people need to be aware of that. So that's something even colleges, they need to prepare people with, like from the beginning itself, not just only when the placement season starts, so that people are aware of, okay, yeah, this is the thing, these are all the companies that come to my campus and what are these about, so that that thing happens to everyone. So yeah, so when the company which I'm working on currently, when that came, like I'll be honest that I was not aware that, okay, this company does all these things. So I sat for it. Like I went to the pre-placement talk. I really liked what they were working for. And when I got into it, I had another option, but I chose this because that actually aligned with what I wanted to do, plus the technology which I did in during the internship. I liked it. So I continued working on this company only.
Okay. So I think like you mentioned that pre-placement talk is something which is important, right? And then you mentioned that probably exploring other industries is also important. Although your domain is, let's say, core computer science or something, but industries also matter. Anything else
Yeah.
that comes to your mind in terms of, let's say, giving advice to people who are there in colleges right now and who are exploring different career options and are in this phase where they have to decide what companies to sit for or what companies to apply for?
Yeah. So the first choice that they have to make is whether they want to sit for placements or not. Because most of the people nowadays, the trend is like, okay, 90% of the people will still go for companies, but there are people who will not sit for placements and go for higher studies just after the college is over. So that, leaving that category right now aside, so people who are thinking, okay, that I have to work on the same technology which I am learning currently in college, and I want to pursue the jobs after the college is over. So then, like as I mentioned, like when they are applying for a college, sorry, when they're applying for a job, just not apply for the job just because you think, okay, it's a lucrative offer or something. See that what the company is about. So you will see that, okay, there are not just the 5 or 6 big companies that you are thinking, because what after that? Because those companies will come in the beginning, like first 15 days or 20 days, those will be over and not everyone will get into it. So you need to be open towards all the companies that, okay, after this I am getting these companies, I'm not aware of it, but I'm applying to it, just not because I want to sit and get placed, but I want to understand what the company is about. That time also, fine, you applied for it, you cleared the online test, for example, then you go for pre-placement talk. So there it's not just like going and sitting and filling the pre-placement talk hall. You need to listen to what they are offering, what they are about, what the people who have come from that organization are speaking to. So all those things are very important, so that you will understand, okay, it's not like, and when you're facing interviews also, you will be like in a better shape to talk about, because when they ask about what made you sit for our company, or so, like what made you think that we are better than others that invited you to attend our interviews, so you will be in a better shape to tell. It's not like you just read something from online sources and you just went there. That doesn't work out always. So that's one thing that they need to focus on. Plus, they need to be very clear that, okay, if I am going for the job, whether I want to continue in that, or whether I just want to complete my internship and go for higher studies. So that also is one of the factors. Like you just don't want to join just for the sake of joining. So you need to think, okay, like at least 1 or 2 years I want to dedicate if I'm joining, and then focus on whether I want to just join a college after completing undergraduation, or whether I want to work for some time and then see like where my career is taking me, and then take a decision.
I think that makes sense. So I'll move forward now. You have been, building your career as a software engineer for the last 5 years, right? And I'm sure you would have had some kind of expectations when you were in college and you got this job opportunity. You would think that this could be something like this. But can you just walk us through and help me understand how your job and responsibilities have changed over these last 5 years, right? When you started out of college, it could be something else. Now it could be something else. So how does the career of a software engineer basically progress?
Yeah, so now like I have spent almost 5 years in my current organization. So when I joined as a software engineer, so my roles were completely different from currently what I'm doing. So when I joined as a software engineer, my only task was to showcase whatever task is assigned to me. I'm able to complete it in very less turnaround time without any reworks. So that's basically the basic role of any software engineer who joins any company. It will be more aligned towards development and testing and finishing your tasks within a time period. Other than that, if you are showing something extra, that will always help you in growing quickly in the organization. So yeah, then when I moved forward, like after a couple of years, when I became a senior software engineer, so the roles completely changed. Whatever, like the thing is, whatever you are appreciated on in the initial years, that becomes an expectation for you in the next role which you take. So it's like you always think that, okay, I was doing this before also, I'm doing this now also, but I'm not getting appreciated because this has become an minimum expectation from you. You are always supposed to showcase more now, because when you are as a software engineer, when you join the company, your competition is only with you and your peers in your team who are also software engineers. But when you are a senior software engineer, you will be compared to the other people in the organization also, not just your team. So the challenge increases. You need to start showing ownership. If you show ownership and you start doing extra, the managers will always gain that trust. You will gain the visibility in your organization among your leads and executives. That will help you grow even further. So after that, when I became a team lead, so then the whole dynamic changes. Now you have people who you are responsible for their growth. So that is one thing. You show ownership, but you also need to inculcate that thing in your associates who are reporting to you directly. So those things have all changed. So, but another thing is like you also need to focus that, okay, the job which you are doing, that is providing you enough security, there's a stability in your job, and you have that autonomy. Okay, that okay, I am responsible for this, I'm showing the ownership, I have that much minimum freedom to express my thoughts here. Always there. So in a bigger team, so there will always be many heads and you will have like difference of opinions. But the thing is, like, you need to be able to know like what works out well and agree to a common cause. Like that's one thing that software engineer won't be able to figure out. But as you grow, you will obviously be learning all those aspects as well. So yeah, that's how the dynamic changed when I joined as a software engineer to what I am currently. So one thing is like some people think that, okay, I was not too good in college, so will I be able to justify when I move to an organization? So the thing is, whatever you learn in your college is completely different from the real world experience. So it's not like if you are not extraordinary in college, you can't be extraordinary in your work. But yeah, for me, even the technology has transitioned. Like I was working on C# before, but then now I'm working on the new technology like React and Node.js. So those are the technologies that are in the market right now. So it's like in competition with the other people, other engineers who are currently working in different organizations. So that gives an edge right now. Plus, when you are in the same company for a longer time, it creates a certain amount of trust with the executives and other the leaders who are there. They start thinking that, okay, we can invest on this person. So those things happen when you continue in your career in the same company. So yeah, that's about.
Sure. Um, and one question that comes to my mind is about higher education, right? So you mentioned earlier as well, some people go for higher education, be it MS or MBA. Now, were you thinking of this any time, probably when you were in college or sometime after, probably you had completed 1 or 2 years into the job and you were like, I can think about, going for higher studies, and I think MS would make more sense for you, right? Or even if you thought about
Yeah,
MBA. So what were
yeah,
your thoughts
exactly.
there?
Exactly. So when I was in college, I'll be frank that I did not think about higher studies. I wanted to go for a job and continue there for a couple of years and see how I'm doing there before take a decision. So after like 1 year or so, when I was working as a software engineer, I thought about it very clearly and decided that okay, I'll opt for MS. I gave my entrance examinations and all, but like things kept happening like in my favor. Like I was doing well in my company at that time. Then I got a technology which I wanted to work on. I was progressing at different levels in the organization which I was working. So I decided that okay, let me try for 1 more year. So now that kept happening, and then I thought, okay, it's too late. Anyway, I'm getting what I wanted to get out of my career. So let's continue with this instead of dropping out and go for a higher education for a couple of years and then join the companies again. So that was one thing. So I gave examinations. I thought about it in middle of my career, but then I dropped the idea after giving examinations. So,
Okay.
but still, that is just my opinion, because
Right.
there are people who went after 2 years or 3 years, my friends who were with me. So it just happens like they wanted to pursue higher education, but thought that, okay, if I'm like, I had decided that I won't be going for MBA and I'll go for MS. But then my whole purpose was getting served in the current organization itself. So I dropped the idea.
Um, and do you think that, I mean, although I think you have answered this question, but just to be clear, but do you think that, having an MS or a higher degree helps you on your, like to move forward in your career? Or do you think you can do that even without a higher education?
So one thing is like in case of MS, if you're doing MS, so it means that you are willing to continue in the same career path. It's just a higher education you have got after your undergraduation. So for me, after spending 2 years, so I was already seeing that, okay, I have gained a certain amount of trust. People think that I can take ownership and move higher in the hierarchy in my company currently. So that triggered me like, okay, fine, whatever I'll achieve after 2 years of higher education, so I can do it without that as well. So another thing was like, I thought that, okay, if my, like, there are chances of my company also sending me on site, for example. So I would prefer that in my current situation, then go for higher education, again sit for company placements and move ahead with the career. Because whatever role or something which I was looking for after higher education, that was happening here itself. So that was one of the reasons why I did not choose
Sure.
MS.
So yeah, so I think like what I'm hearing from you is that it's important to also understand what does an MS or whatever higher degree you're considering gives you, right? If you're already getting it, then
Yeah,
probably it doesn't make sense. So yeah, sure.
yeah.
Uh, cool. So Abhishek, I think this was really helpful, and this brings me to one of the last questions that I have, which is that um, if you had to give advice to people or suggestions to people who are currently evaluating different career paths that are possible and are also interested in something similar to what you are doing in a career path similar to yours, so what would be your suggestion for them?
So first thing that comes to my mind while talking to the mentees that I get here as well is like be open to all the options, because as a software developer, one of the best things that can happen to you is that you are not limited towards anything. So something that happens with like business analysts or solution designers, for example, is like they are specific to a domain. So like if they are into healthcare, they will always look for something in healthcare as well. But for the developers, it's the technology that matters. So it's not like that purpose can be solved only in one kind of organization. You always need to be in search for the companies that can serve your purpose and help you grow, and not like you have to think from a technology perspective, at least in the initial stages of your career. Because if you become proficient or something in that particular role or technology, like options are immense. It's not like you will be limited to one company or other companies. Everyone will be looking for you. So that's one thing. Another thing, like this is like when you have started working. But for the people who are still in colleges, the students who are looking for the job, I'll still say that be open, read about the companies before applying, and always pay focus to the pre-placement talks. It's not just about the last slide that they show related to the salary and other things. You need to see what's there before that, what's the mission, vision of the company, and what they are offering you. If it works out for you, it's the best thing. If your ideology, what you are thinking is going to match with that company, it's the perfect match. Apart from that, I think, yeah, and they need to be very clear about whether they want to work, continue working, or they just want to join the company and leave, because the companies also won't like the fact that, okay, they are investing in you, but you are moving out of that company just because you wanted to go for higher education. Because if you want to go for it, better not join it in the first place. So that's one thing that I have seen happening with people who just joined the company after colleges, and that has not worked out really well. So yeah, so that would be my advice for them.
Sure. So thank you so much, Abhishek. I think this was really helpful, and I think these are important pointers that can help people who are evaluating different career paths and are thinking about different career options. So thank you so much for being with us here today.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Sonali.